Alrighty then, corn children. It's integration by parts, part 4, repeated integration. Okay. If integration by parts were not fun enough, we get to do it twice in one problem. Yeah, I know. All right, so what we have here, we have a product. We have x squared multiplied by e to the 4x multiplied by our dx. So we have to break this up into two factors. Choosing dv to be the most complicated thing we know how to integrate. We know how to integrate x squared, but it's not all that complicated. It's just x cubed over 3. Integrating e to the 4x, that's a little more complicated. So I'm going to choose that with the dx to be my dv. Alrighty, that leaves x squared behind. And once again, the secondary condition of choosing is that this becomes simpler if we take the derivative, and it does. That doesn't always happen. This is the primary guide. What can you integrate? This is what's left over. All right, so let's take the derivative here. Remember, derivative down. So du is 2x dx. Integrate up, integrate up. Now, that's not just x, that's a 4x. So if you need to, on a separate sheet of paper or on the side of your paper, you're going to want to do this with a teeny tiny little u du because that 1/4 is going to be crucial. All right? So I can do that in my head because it's my job. And you get 1/4 e to the 4x. Yeah? If not, back the bus up. All right, so integration by parts. We need to make it uv minus the integral of v du. All right, here's u and v, just rearranging it so that it's in a nice, neat, tidy order. Minus the integral of v du. Now let's think ahead, shall we? We're going to multiply these together, and the last time I checked, 2 times 1/4 is 1/2, and it's a scalar. Skirt, there it is. What's left? We have an x dx and an e to the 4x. So x e to the 4x dx. Hey, that's great, except this is still a product here, isn't it? Yeah, it's still a product. Oh, no. Don't worry. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start the whole thing over again. We are now going to do integration by parts on this. We have a first term, we have a scalar, and we do integration by parts again. Ha ha! Ha! So let's do this. U dv. Now the good news is the choices are the same. E to the 4x dx is still the dv. X is the u. The derivative is just dx. And this integration, in case you were asleep, is the same integration we did before. So you just do it again. So another 1/4 shows up, e to the 4x. All right, now let's be careful here. First term, bring it down. Now, bring it down. Bring it down. Negative 1/2 scalar. Now this is where it gets complicated, especially if you cannot distribute and you know who you are. Ready? Times the whole uv minus the integral of v to u. That's right, we're going to have another uv minus the integral of v du. And we're going to put that all in the parentheses, all multiplied by the negative 1/2. All right, uv, 1/4 x e to the 4x. 1/4 x e to the 4x minus, oh, I wrote that wrong, integral of v du, integral of v, now that 1/4, skirt, is going to come out here, du. Okay, now this we can finally integrate, but first, let's go ahead and distribute this so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. First term, bring it down, bring it down, Ready? Distribute, distribute. Negative 1/8 x e to the 4x. Positive 1/8 the integral of e to the 4x dx. One more time, we need to integrate e to the 4x dx. We've done it here, we've done it here, we do it again here. Another teeny tiny little UDU gives us another factor of 1/4 in this term. So when we integrate, bring it down, carpal tunnel, bring it down, When we integrate, we get 1/8 scalar from the UDU, another 1/4 e to the 4x, and finally plus c. Now, if you want your answer all kinds of pretty, you're going to want to get a common denominator, factor out the common denominator of 1/32, and also factor out the e to the 4x, which is in every single term. So real quickly, knowing that this is a 32, I'm going to multiply here by 4/4, here by 8/8. Every single term has a 32 in the denominator. Every single term has an e to the 4th. You can factor out 1/32 e to the 4x, leaving behind, look carefully, 8x squared. It's squished in here, minus 4x plus, understood, 1 plus c. So that's the pretty version of the answer that you can find in the back of a calculus book.